Charlie Rich won the 1975 Grammy for the Most Beautiful Girl. It crossed formats, it dominated radio, and within 2 years country radio stopped calling. No scandal, no collapse. He didn't fall, he was finished with. That loss was already complete. By the time most people realized something was wrong, there was nothing left to fix. Charlie Rich didn't disappear because he failed. He disappeared because the system stopped carrying him. Country music praised him loudly, then quietly removed his place. Charlie Rich wasn't rejected. He was managed into irrelevance. And that process never announces itself. Charlie Rich was a problem for one reason. He made categories nervous. He wasn't just country. He wasn't just soul. He wasn't just pop. He could move between them without changing who he was. Which sounds like versatility until you realize what happens when a system can't label you. Support turns into hesitation. Early on, executives called him gifted. That word usually appears right before uncertainty. Programmers didn't argue about his talent, they argued about placement. Where does he sit? Which hour? Which format? When those questions linger, momentum slows. And still, he won anyway. The Most Beautiful Girl spent 3 weeks at #1. It topped country, pop, and adult contemporary charts. Millions of copies sold. By every visible metric, this should have locked his future. Instead, it exposed the mismatch. Success didn't make him fit. It made the problem undeniable. After the hit, the shift was subtle. Radio ads didn't scale with sales. Press windows shortened. Tour support stalled. One producer later admitted Rich was hard to schedule around formats. That sentence explains everything. No one says you're out, they just stop building around you. Charlie Rich didn't argue, he didn't rebel, he didn't demand. He kept making the same kind of music, wide, emotional, uncontained. The system adjusted by shrinking the space. Most people point to one night, the Grammys, the envelope. They call it rebellion or bitterness. That explanation feels neat, but that moment didn't cause anything. It revealed something. By the time Charlie Rich walked on that stage, the doors weren't closing. They were already closed. That's the meaning flip. He wasn't attacking power. He was acknowledging its absence. The envelope wasn't anger. It was resignation. Not long after, Rich said, plainly without drama, that he just made the records he wanted to make. That wasn't defiance, that was acceptance. Even Elvis Presley quietly admired his voice, and it still didn't change anything. After that, nothing dramatic followed. No ban, no blacklist, no headlines, just less room. Which is worse, because quiet removal doesn't create villains, it creates disappearance. The music didn't collapse, the voice didn't fade. What changed was the environment. Country music narrowed, branding tightened, risk tolerance shrank. Artists who fit cleanly survived. Artists who didn't. Charlie Rich stayed wide. Wide doesn't survive compression. People say he should have adapted, but adapt to what? Be simpler, be easier to explain. Charlie Rich didn't refuse to change. He refused to pretend. And pretending is often the price of permanence. The cost wasn't immediate. It showed up as fewer opportunities, shorter promotional windows, less institutional memory. Until one day, he was no longer central. Not because he lost relevance, because relevance was redefined without him. You've seen this pattern before. Maybe not in music. Someone delivers results, earns recognition, and still isn't carried forward. Because being correct isn't the same as being convenient. Charlie Rich wasn't difficult. He was inconvenient. Industries don't hate inconvenient people. They praise them. They award them. Then they reorganize in a way that no longer needs them, which is cleaner and safer, because no one ever has to say no. Here's the truth that lands. Talent doesn't protect you. Success doesn't secure you. Only fit does.